But you guys know who is not a losing team? The Kansas City Chiefs, runners of the AFC West here. So the final team of the AFC West is the Kansas City Chiefs. Combs going to kick it to you first this time. What do you have the overall record for the Kansas City Chiefs?
They are 12-5.
12-5.
12-5. I think the Chargers win this division by a game. I have the Chargers at 13-4, and ultimately it's because I have the Chargers sweeping the season series. And so, in the division, I have the Chiefs at 2-4. I've got them having a down year in the division. I think that this division's a little bit stronger. I think that the sweep of the Chargers puts them into a losing record in the division, but they still finished 12-5.
All right, so 12-5. So you haven't given swept by the Chargers and splitting with the Raiders and the Broncos here in the division. Tori, what about you? What is their record?
I actually have them going 15-2.
Wow.
So, I really like what they've done. I think we all kind of question when they cut both starting tackles, like, what the heck are they going to? They rebuilt a really nice offensive line like overnight
For cheap too, for very cheap.
Yeah. So
I misspoke, by the way.
Okay.
I actually have them at 11-6.
11-6.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
So,
I was looking at the wrong number.
I have them at 15-2. And it's like I said, they kind of went the Patriot way where like they had an off season where they could do no wrong. They filled in the spots that they needed to. You went, oh my God, what are they doing? And you're like, well, that worked out pretty well. Yeah. So that's kind of the story of their entire off season. So
they've got a tough schedule this year, man.
They do have a tough schedule, but
really tough schedule.
Yeah,
I mean they play Cleveland, they play Buffalo, they play Green Bay, and if Aaron Rodgers is still in Green Bay, which I don't think he is, but even if he's not in Green Bay, that's still a tough Green Bay defense. They've got to play Dallas. They have to play the Raiders obviously twice, but the Bengals aren't an easy task either. So they play all the divisions that they play against. They play the division, the tops of those divisions, and it's not an easy task. I don't see any scenario where they can win 15 of these games.
Yeah, so Tori, you had them going 15-2. Who are their two losses?
I have them losing at the Washington football team, and then I have them losing in week 18 to the Broncos because they're going to have the number 1 seed wrapped up and won't need to play anybody.
Yeah, and this is the same football team that Tori does have going 13-4 on this season. So that's exactly where I have the Kansas City Chiefs. I have them going 13-4 as well. So I actually had them losing to the Ravens, the Packers, and the Bengals and the Broncos. So they lose 2 games in a row to end the season. Just because I think, because for one, the Chiefs never play good in Mile High Stadium. That is just the way it is, and it's the last game of the season. Yeah. So they're going to be very, very conservative play.
I have them alternating losses and wins through the first 5 weeks. I have them starting off with a loss to Cleveland in week 1. I have them beating Baltimore in week 2. I have them losing to the Chargers in week 3. I have them beating the Eagles in week 4 and losing to Buffalo in week 5, and then they go on a little run.
Yeah.
But I just if I would have been on last night, you guys would have already known. I've got Buffalo being very, very good this year. I've got Buffalo at 16-1 this year. And I think that week 5 matchup versus the Kansas City Chiefs is what vaults them to that record. I think that is their statement game. They walk into Kansas City and they handle Kansas City, which is probably one of the hardest stadiums to play a road game in. And once they do that, they roll.
Yeah, but recent memory, the Chiefs have dropped some key home games. They're actually like 500 at home the last 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken, on that. So, Tori, what is that key game for the Kansas City Chiefs this season in your eyes?
Week 9, State Farm Bowl. It's Mahomes versus the discount double check, and I think that game is actually going to be a shootout. I don't think either defenses are going to play very well. That could very well be like a 42-48 game. So I feel
versus
like
a discount double check week 9. They don't play the Broncos till week 13. So you got Jordan Love versus Patrick
Let's see,
Mahomes in Week 9.
because there again, I deal with reality and facts.
Okay.
So,
Combs, what game do you have
Um,
circled?
For me, it's going to be the Chargers games. I think that that's what's going to decide the division. If they can figure out a way to sweep the Chargers instead of those Chargers sweeping them, then they win the division, and that knocks the Chargers down to 11-6 and them up to 13-4. So them Chargers games are huge.
So you actually had the Chargers sweeping them this season. Tori, I
do.
forgot to ask you on that Week 9 game. Who do you have winning that game, Packers or the Chiefs?
I have the Chiefs because it's a home game.
Okay.
So, like the courtesy 3.5 point spread.
Right. So I am a firm believer that I think you need to lose a couple games in the season to really figure out who you are as a team. So I have 2 games circled: the Week 2 game versus the Baltimore Ravens when they travel to Baltimore, and then the Week 9 when the Packers come into town. I had the Kansas City Chiefs losing these two games, and I think they have to lose these 2 games to go back to another Super Bowl. If the Kansas City Chiefs do not lose at least 4 games in the regular season, they will not go back to the Super Bowl this season, just because they don't know how to fix their mistakes. Like, if that makes any sense.
And you talked about their home woes. What do you have their home record as this year?
So home this year, I actually had them at 8-1. Their only loss is to the Packers this season.
I see. I have them at 5-4 at home this year. 6-2 on the road.
5-4 at like at home. So you had them losing to the Chargers at
the Browns
at
Week
home.
1.
Browns, okay.
The Chargers Week 3. Buffalo Week 5. Let's see. Where else do I have them losing at home? I have them losing to Denver at home 1 game. And then I have so those are their 4 losses at home.
Wow, I mean, I wouldn't say you're wrong because the Broncos and Chiefs always play a close game. The Chargers are, they might be improved. They're just like in your eyes.
And Cleveland is Week 1, and that's a dangerous game Week 1 because Cleveland's looking to prove that they're for real.
Right.
Then obviously you play the Chargers Week 3. That game could go either way, but I really feel like that Buffalo game Week 5 is the statement game for Buffalo.
Let me ask you this question: the Kansas City Chiefs' first 3 games of the season, they are all playoff teams. Like, in your guys' eyes, the Browns, the Ravens, and the Chargers. Do they possibly start the season 0-3, and we're questioning the Kansas City Chiefs? Like, are they the same team?
I think people are questioning them after Week 5 because they're 2-3. So I think and that's when I have them going on a run and becoming 6-3, before they lose another game. So I feel like they've got that run in them, but they play that top heavy schedule, and so that's where I have people question them is after that Buffalo loss in Week 5.
So, Tor, you had them going 15-2, right?
Correct.
Who are their 2 losses?
The football team in Week 6, and I have them losing to the Broncos in Week 18.
Week 18. So, is there any game that you have circled that they could, possibly go one way or the other? The Packers, the Bills, the Ravens game?
All of them?
I was going to say, what one do you want? The Browns, Ravens, Chargers, Bills game, Packer game, almost any one of those, the Pittsburgh game. So it could literally, but the thing is what I don't think is the league has not figured out the formula to consistently beat Patrick Mahomes yet. I think certain teams have figured out portions of it, but they haven't figured out how to stop Patrick Mahomes.
And I think the Chiefs have improved. They better have improved themselves from the Super Bowl because the Buccaneers completely shut them down. Yes, their offensive line was hurt.
I was going to say you're playing a backup line,
but you still got to learn from losing, and hopefully they have learned from that mistake. So, what were you saying before I cut you off?
Did anybody not pick the Buffalo Bills to win the East yesterday?
I don't think so. I think we all picked them.
Yeah, but I actually had the Patriots in close second. So I actually had the Bills at 12-5 and the Patriots at 11-6.
Wow, 12-5.
Yeah.
What do you got them at, Tori? What do you got the Bills at?
I have them at